This video is long overdue, and it's not really going to be your typical woodworking video. In fact, I want to use this video to hopefully inspire someone and make that change that they've been wanting to make for a while now. January 2020. I was sitting on my recliner as I was watching the winner of the Olympic trial finish the marathon race, 26.2 miles.
Wins the men's Olympic marathon trial.
I sat there and thought to myself, I bet I could do that. My mom ran 2 of those and I wanted to challenge myself too. So I called my buddy up and said, hey, what are the chances you want to run a marathon with me? And to my surprise, he said yes right away. Later that day, I was already looking for marathons that we could run in. A couple days later, I found one and the date was set. May 9th, 2020 in the city of Pittsburgh. Neither of us really considered ourselves runners, but I've heard that excuse way too many times. Just something really annoyed me when people said, oh, I could never do that, I'm not a runner. My first thought was always, you're not even a trier. It seems like it's so easy for us to dismiss a hard task because we want to be comfortable. As our training began, I realized how uncomfortable I really would be and how hard this was. We were running 4 to 5 times a week and often the same loop. It became really redundant after a while. Then soon enough, in March of 2020, our plans came to our impending doom, as you all know what happened. During this time, we looked into 2 different marathons and began to train for them. But sadly, COVID lasted longer, I think, than we all expected it to. Then on November 14th, 2020, my life changed forever. This was the day my mother passed away. This put my marathon plans on the back burner and began months of mental pain for me. This is truly one of the hardest things that I've ever went through. A few months later, one of my mom's old friends who actually ran marathons with her reached out to me and asked if I was still interested in running. Of course I said yes, and my friend was still in too. We actually decided to run in honor of my mother. This allowed us to raise over $4,000 for charity between the group, and our race was set for Halloween 2021. Again began the hot days of training during the summer. I learned a lot about myself during these hot, miserable days, but slowly, October 31st began to creep up on us. And yet again, it was canceled due to COVID. And this was a huge blow to me in my training, as I already put in over 200 miles of training. This was actually our 4th marathon that we had canceled, so the morale was down and the motivation was low. Finally, we ended up finding a marathon just a couple days later, and as that day arrived, so did the nerves. The day that felt like it would never come. 2 years of preparation, and here we are. As the race began on a cool November morning, I started out great, but sadly that did not last long. Around the halfway point, or 13.1 miles, I began to cramp immensely. I thought all I needed to do is start drinking more water, and that did not help. Around 2 miles later, I was in extreme pain. Every muscle in my legs that I didn't even know exist was hurting. I was definitely worried, knowing how much of the race I had left, but I also knew that this pain was temporary and I just needed to keep pushing. I grinded through the pain, and as I approached the finish line, I think everything began to set in. I was about to complete this race that I never ever in a million years thought I could do. All the work that I put in was coming down to this moment right here. Seeing my friends and family at the finish line cheering me on was a feeling truly like nothing else. As I hobbled across the finish line, I instantly thought about my mom. Completing this race exactly 1 year after her passing could not mean more to me. November 14th, 2021. It felt like all those races that were canceled truly had a meaning, and I was supposed to run this day. During the whole race, it felt like she was pushing me and helping me along the way. And I can say truly crossing the finish line was one of the best moments in my life, and knowing how proud of me she would be. It goes to show that truly anything is possible. Now, I don't want to sit here and give you some cliche motivational talk or speech, but I do want to say, if you really want to achieve something, the only thing holding you back is your mindset right here. There were so many times during the race where I almost collapsed. My body was saying, dude, what are you doing? Just give up. You're insane. But my mind said, just keep grinding, and it ended up all working out in the end. Now, I've done enough talking, so I wanted to show you how I made a display for my medal I got. So I'm going to shut up now and let you enjoy the process. And thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys later.